All right, well, that didn't go according to plan.
Help me rise again. Ref one, lead the game. I ain't saying bye with him.
Jay, turn this shit the fuck up.
Let's jump in, look at the market, talk about what we're looking at going into the morning here. Number one, hopefully everybody's doing well. Let's take a look and talk about our bias. Daily. Right now, going into the morning, I'm extremely patient. I'm honestly leaning more towards the bull side than I am the bear side. All of this is going to become generated sell side. This is still what I'm waiting for. But all of this is looking like we want to see possibly an expansion. This could come accumulation, manipulation, and then see distribution. I do want to see where ES is, though, because this is going to be a big sign, because last time we did put in an SMT, it really didn't work, and it's got broken. Actually, we haven't had an SMT here at the highs yet, but we most likely won't. Keep in mind as well, there also is a lot of room to the upside. So we could see a breakout to the upside and go see us an expansion to equilibrium. That's what I'd want to see, and that become the manipulation leg to then go pull back to go run all of these internal lows. Waiting to kind of see what the internal price action looks like. Daily candles starting to really wick back up here. Nothing really telling me on the weekly or the 4 hour. Definitely could see an expansion here, though. So keep that in mind. A very loose bias going into the morning. Just want to be patient. Want to watch what I see. I could see a side for both. What I do recognize is that all of this is generated sell-side liquidity. What would I need to see for me to take a short here, though? Right? If I need to take a short, if I want to take a short here, what do I need to see? This low right here. This is what I need to see. Zoom out to the 30-minute or the 1 hour. This becomes my change in the state of delivery. And I would want to see this. This is the only way I can possibly take a short. So I need to see that. In fact, we just put in an SMT right here. Right now, market is pretty bullish, though. I wouldn't really expect this SMT to hold bullish or hold bearish. I would expect us to probably just continue to run higher here. So patience going into the morning. We'll see what the initial price action plays out. Again, probably going to be more risk off today. Again, it's no news. It's a no news Wednesday. Probably going to be more risk off today. Be patient today, guys. Let's see what we get. I actually kind of like longs here on NQ. See this like more so in the internal model. I'm going to go ahead and give a long stab on NQ here. An SMT at the lows, displacement, pull back to a fair value gap, right? This becomes the internal model. I might add an extra 2 contracts here. If we can dig past this low. I would like to add another con. But also I don't want to have too much risk. But if I was to add here, I'll move my stop to pretty much break even of whatever that move is. All right, I added 2 contracts here. I want to be careful here because I could get stopped and then go back in my favor. So I want to see what the risk is here if I just put my stop lower. But since oh, that's not bad, 200. I'm going to probably bring this down then. And give this a little bit more room. And just accept the risk here. I want to see us start to get up here. ES is holding us back a little bit. ES looks like we're starting to fall. We need to hold here and see an expansion. We were just hesitating a little bit to the upside, but being patient. Stops in place, PT in place, accepted risk. We'll see what happens. I need to see this get back up here. Stopped out right there. Honestly, I'm happy with that stop. I think that was a really good entry and setup. I think this is probably where we're going to sell. Because if that doesn't hold, we're probably going to get through this 5-minute fair value gap, because that's when we should have pumped to the upside if we did want to. So bigger time frame here, this is when I would want to see this get ran through and this become change in the state. So displace all the way back inside this range. This is the first kind of sign here, though. First sign of bearish order flow. If this rebounds, then we're probably just going to go back and run those highs. There's another SMT here. That bigger time frame imbalance is still holding here as well. We'd have to respect here and start to really dump and get through these lows if we want to sell off. Yeah, I'd like to see something like that too, James. But would need to see us get below here. Right now, I think order flow is still bullish. I mean, we're holding anything. We need to really get down here, so. Because this, to me, looks like accumulation, manipulation. Then we're going to see a move higher because we have this bullish SMT here as well. Kind of curious to see what price does here. I think this honestly might just be, as much as I want to be bearish, I still feel like where we are in price, we just are going to have an expansion. But it's kind of both ways here, unless we have to sell off hard for me to be bearish. So right now I'm bullish until we can sell off hard. Let's see. I just kind of want to pay attention to order flow right now because this bearish amount is getting respected at 1 minute. So I would want to see us just sell off here. Same on ES. That's what I'd want to see, James. I'd especially want to see an SMT. So it's like my kind of thing of what I want to see here is if we're bearish, I can't take a trade here. If we're bearish and we come up here, I can't take a trade. So right now, I'm just simply watching price action. We could sell off right here, and I wouldn't really be able to take anything because it wouldn't be clean enough unless there's just an internal SMT here or something else. I would need to see price pull back and to go take this 5-minute fair value gap, which is going to be this internal high here on the turtle suit. And then from here, I want to see price react. If we come up here, have an SMT and then displace, then I would expect to go take these lows and I would look to take a short. If we come up here, take this, and then immediately just run through this fair value gap, I would look to see how price reacts to then go take these equal highs. Or we don't do either of those things and we just sell off right now and there's no trade. We're generating a lot of buy side on the way down though. I mean, all of these highs. We haven't taken any single high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 highs that we're generating here that we'll probably end up coming back to. I'd like to see us take these internal ones first, though, so we can get a soupy. I'm going to enter an initial contract, an initial 4 contract short, most likely, if we come up, take this, and put it in SMT, and then I'm going to look to add to it once we can get displacement. Kind of watching here. I'm going to enter 4 contracts here. Light size with this. This will be my last trade of the day here. This SMT got ran through. We're looking really bullish right here. Don't want to see this level of displacement here. I would have wanted to see us sweep. All right, stopped out there. Big displacement move. We're probably going to go run all this buy side here. 15-minute on ES is still holding bullish. This is going to get ran through. We're probably going to go run higher here, leaving these equal lows below us. All righty, guys. Calling it a day there. Going to take the L. Don't want to sit around and continue to kind of trade here. Not incredibly happy with the day. This first trade, really liked. This trade, honestly, not too bad either. Honestly, I feel like it was just a hard day to read. I honestly thought I had some decent conviction in those 2 setups. So I'm not honestly too upset with it. I'm down. This is the biggest loss day, though, which is what I'm not happy about. I'm down around 400 on the account. So I'm going to go take the next 10, 15 minutes, go journal. If you're going to continue to trade the day, be safe, but I'm going to hop off here. Don't want to stick away, hit my max 2 loss on the day. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Be productive. Go take the next 10, 15 minutes and journal. If you're going to continue to trade today, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, guys. All right, so just got done trading. Unfortunately, lost on the day, 2 back-to-back red days. I'm down around $400 on the day, which is the biggest loss on the challenge so far. But to be completely honest, I'm really not that upset with the trades that I took. I took 2 setups, both with $200 worth of risk, which normally is honestly below what I would want to be risking, which is around $300. And the first setup was honestly really solid, had a lot of conviction with it, ended up scaling in, pyramiding, got stopped out. And the second trade probably was a little bit lower quality, but kind of just was a conflicting biases today, kind of played both sides. But this is something that's just going to happen with this challenge, right? And this is just something that happens with growing a small account. And it's being able to recognize what are the mistakes that are being made. Is this a mistake that needs to be completely fixed? Is this not a mistake at all? And today was something where it's just a normal day in the office. I did what I needed to do. The first trade I had a lot of conviction in, total loss that I'm completely fine with taking. Second loss that we're going to go into, I'll record later today, a session where we can go back into the TradeZella and into the journal and talk more about those 2 setups specifically of why I chose what I did, what was the reasoning for it, what was right, what was wrong. The first setup, honestly, totally fine with that loss. The second trade didn't need to be taken at least, or could have waited for more confirmation. But I would say it's just a little bit more of a tricky day for me specifically, just a little bit harder to read. But again, that's just the case, right? We got to understand as traders, our goal isn't to be zoomed in. Zoomed in terms of price action, and zoomed in also in terms of sometimes you come into the market and you have a really bad day and it ruins your entire mood for the entire day. And a lot of you new traders are going to experience this, and I had this exact same problem. Just a lot of traders in general, is you let trading completely control your entire life, because you'll come into the market, you'll take a loss, and then you're just in a bad mood for the rest of the day. And you have to learn to be able to control this and learn to be able to understand that you need to completely separate the two between life and trading. Number one, they will start to bleed into each other, but when you're just an observer of life and in trading, then you'll be able to experience and enjoy everything as well. So like right now, we're gonna go hit the golf course, played 9, maybe 18 holes, depends how hot it is, but lost on the challenge so far, and you have to just recognize what do you do right, what do you do wrong, and completely then disconnect from it afterwards, right? You put in the time, you work towards your goal, but you also exchange striving for arriving, right? Go live your life. Go spend less time on the charts. I guarantee you, the more money you will make, when you start making more money, it will feel like you're putting in the least amount of work. You will make the most money in trading when you feel like you are doing the least amount of work. Trust me, because you just simply aren't constantly looking for opportunity. When it shows itself, you take it and it feels easy and it comes to you easily. Outside of trading, enjoy your life. Stop caring about what your P&L looks like. Stop caring about what you're doing right and wrong, and just live and get into the market, and the experience will add up. When you put in the steps and when you're focused on building good habits, it will all work out for you. So down 400 on the day, down 600 in the last 2 days. So we are a little bit back down on the account. Not too worried about it. A little bit of a rocky start, but we'll get back to it. Yeah, we're just gonna go enjoy the rest of the day and just live life. We'll be back in the office tomorrow. Alrighty, let's get her going.
Hi there, how's it going?
Hello, good, how are you?
Good. Sitting on that.
Waterline.
Boys are going. Who we here with, huh?
What's up? Drew Peterson.
Drew Peterson. Fairway. Drew and
Jacob.
Jacob. All right, let's go, baby.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Got his nice little iced coffee.
Oh yeah.
Shining in.
How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you this morning?
Good, man.
Agreed. Absolutely blessed. Right there is brutal. Hybrid time. Good. Wish me luck, bro. First hybrid of the day. Dude, my hybrid used to be so dialed in for like a week. I don't know what it was, but my swing was just so pure for my hybrid, but then everything else was garbage. And then everything else that was good then became good, and then my hybrid became garbage.
I've been dialed in at the range with my hybrid, but never
Yeah, exactly.
on the fucking course.
Exactly. There was one time where I was just so dialed in on the course with my hybrid, and it was like the best feeling ever. But then,
But never out here.
never on the course.
What the fuck are we sitting at right now?
Okay, I mean that was pure, but it just kind of went straight up in the fucking air. This is gonna be a sneak peek of what that back nine going to look like right here. 146 out. I think I'm gonna hit an 8, maybe a 7, and just a light 7, maybe.
Let's see it, boy.
I think it's better to be over than under, but I think I'm just hitting 8 here. Just try to hit it solid. I think I'll probably be short. All right, well that didn't go according to plan,
Gee willikers.
but I think it will get there.
Not too bad.
Just a little short.
What's popping?
Oh, what a great shot. Nice shot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we got to get a better shot here. We're playing a scramble with these two guys. This is the first hole. They're on the green in 3. Actually, they're in the green in 2. That was 2. So we got to get on the green here. Our ball's up. We got a nice layout. Got to hit a nice approach shot.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Oh, that's gold.
Oh.
That's way over.
Yes, sir. That's good. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
We needed that.
Let's go. What is that, like 4 feet? 4 feet from the pin, I would say?
Yeah. That's
4 or 5 feet. Wow, what a great sport. They say, wow, what a great sport. What a fun game. You know what I have to say to that? I agree. Real men of America, they play golf. And quite frankly, I think the pussies play soccer.
What's up?
Yo!
Yo!
We're done. Where you at?
We're actually all at Cam's right now.
Making all payings, I'm popping out races, I'm putting up 40, I'm in with rappers, I'm not in the last, 45 on the dash, putting up to your face, I'm flat down, you pass, pulling up, but I never look back.
All right, back from golf. That was a decent session. We didn't play the best, but we had a good time for sure. It was a great time. It is pretty much 1 o'clock. We're gonna go change and then go play some pickleball with our buddies. Definitely need to go like grab a little quick like snack in here though before we go out, and then we'll probably go get some lunch later. But gonna go play some pickle. Great start to the day so far. And yeah, we'll keep it on running. All right, so just got my coffee, made a nice little iced coffee, ready to go. So it is actually Saturday, and I'm recording this now because I forgot to record it. So we're going to plug this into the video and show you guys kind of Wednesday, the trades that I took. We're going to look through the journal, talk about the market, what I did right, what I did wrong. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, this week was rough for me. Not good for the account, but again, that's why I'm doing this, is to show you guys full transparency as to what my process is. When I do make mistakes, when I do have losses, how do I keep my mental intact? What do I learn from it going into the next week, right? All of these things are things that nobody and no other trader talks about because they don't want to admit that it happens, right? We are always going to be human. You're always going to have emotion. There's always going to be mistakes that you have. The most important thing when you have those mistakes is what are you actually doing to fix them, and what are you actually doing to improve? And mistakes are something that you should absolutely embrace as a trader. There is nothing wrong with making a mistake. Mistakes are an opportunity for you to continue to grow and improve as a trader. So that's why I'm even doing this challenge, is to not only improve for myself, but to show you guys the process of how I continue to improve as a trader, and just in showing you guys the mistakes that happen, how do I go about it, and using that to my advantage. So let's take a look at the journal. I'll show you guys, we're going to focus on the Wednesday because this will be for the Wednesday video, and then Thursday should be up soon as well. And you guys can go check out the Thursday trades as well. But I took 3 red days this week. I traded 3 days. All of them are red. I'm down, or I'm up still on the account. We were up around $2,000 on the account at the end of last week. At the end of this week, we are now at around $1,200. So that's the first thing that we want to focus on, right? Is 4 green days last week, 3 red days this week. From 4 green days, right? Last week we were up 2K. 3 green days were around 1,200. So that's something we immediately want to recognize. Something in the risk is good, because we're pretty much, green days and red days are pretty much even, but we're still up $1,200 on the account. So that's something that we can focus on and immediately say, okay, there's something that we did right this week, is definitely going to be something about the risk. We want to dive further into the trades, talk about my risk. What was some things that we could have maybe tweaked? Because one of the trades that I took on Wednesday, I actually ended up scaling into, and then it got stopped out. So let's jump in. Let's talk about the 2 trades that I took on Wednesday, and then let's go into the journal, look at some data, and talk about what I actually used from this and what I gained from actually doing this, and show you guys kind of my mindset going into next week. So on Wednesday, my bigger time frame bias was bearish, right? Bigger time frame, we've been continuing to sell off. We just ended up taking this bigger time frame sell side level. There is an S&T down here, but for me to be fully bullish, I need to see a displacement through some sort of bigger time frame level. And what I would recommend when I zoom in is I can see, okay, we're generating a lot of sell side liquidity, right? We have a bigger time frame 1 hour imbalance that we haven't tapped back into. So this is going to be, all of this is going to become generated sell side liquidity that I want to eventually get ran. We can see we put in a high here, immediately took it, sold back off, generated sell side, put in a new high, came back up again, took that buy side, and this is when I would be looking to see manipulation. So going into the morning, I was actually extremely bearish, and I wanted to see a change in the state of delivery on the bigger time frame, because this is when I wanted to see price displace through here and then look to take a short to run all of this generated sell side. I never ended up getting to take that because I took 2 losses before that even happened because I was too zoomed in. And again, this is something we can learn immediately as well, is there's times in which we'll come into the market, have a bias, and if you're following your rules, this is the most important part. I took 2 losses, which I had to step away, right? That's my rules. If I take 2 losses on this account, I'm stepping away, that's it. But with this day, I take 2 losses before I even get to see what I'm looking for. And that's the hardest part as well, is it sets me up to not be able to take advantage of the actual trade that I planned on taking, right? And this is where the patience aspect comes into it, is I was patient today, but I just ended up seeing the wrong things, and I should have been even more patient and waited for my original bias going into the day. So market ends up opening. We have a push towards buy side. Now, at this point in time, I need to see more displacement of the downside for me to be bearish, right? So let me go back to this first trade here. Now, the problem with this first trade is I was just way too zoomed in. I was on a 15-second. The bias wasn't validated. Again, external buy-side liquidity was taken. But I would say this is the better trade of the day. This was the better trade of the day because, in my opinion, it actually looked really clean, the internal model, but the bigger time frame didn't validate it. And that's the margin of error here. So when we look in, we zoom into the 15-second. This is kind of the model that we ended up seeing here. So we continue to generate buy-side liquidity, right? We're accumulating, we're consolidating. This is the bigger time frame fair value gap. Price ends up coming back down. We end up sweeping these relative equal lows, and we had an SMT, right? Showing me manipulation. This looks great, and we had external buy side. That looked really, really nice. We get displacement up, pull back into the fair value gap. I take a long right here with a tight stop below here. Once price continued to get bought up, I was like, oh, this looks fantastic. Look at this chart. This looks great. This looks great. This is a great trade. I'm not really upset about this. There's one thing a little bit I'm upset about that I can change, and we'll get into that. So right here, this looks fantastic. Respecting the bullish imbalance, relative equal lows are taken. The SMT holds in place. We get displacement. I enter in here. And now I'm like, dude, I want to scale into this even more because at this point I was pretty confident. This looked really nice. And I was looking to see a pullback, maybe another internal turtle soup, internal low gets taken, and we can look to go target these generated buy-side levels. We end up coming back down. We put in an initial low right here. So I'm looking to take it when we take this low. So this low here gets taken. I then enter 2 more contracts into this position. And now this is where the mistake happens. So I enter 3 contracts here. My initial risk is, actually, I don't think I can see it because I'm on replay. Let me go out of replay so we can be more accurate here. So I enter 3 contracts. Actually, I think I entered 6 contracts. Wait, why is this wrong? What did I enter? Let me go. So I entered 6 contracts and I added 2. So I entered 6 contracts right here. And I was risking around 165 area. Added 2 more. My fill gets now moved, right? My fill gets now moved to around here. Same stop loss. Now I'm in 8 contracts. And I'm risking a lot more than I should be. Now, thankfully, I moved my stop even more. But we ended up coming back down and ended up getting stopped on this. Now, the thing that I did wrong, and I think that I could have done a little bit better, I should have just put my stop at break even here. And let me tell you why. Originally, I had the plan and already put my stop at break even. If you guys have watched in the recording of this day, my stop was originally at break even, and that's what I planned. But because it looked so good, and I became so obsessed with the outcome, that this is where the mindset shift changes when you can look into your decision making. When I immediately become so focused on the outcome, like this looks so good, there's no way this can lose, there's no way, right? I then give myself even more room because I'm afraid. I now have the fear of getting stopped out and it going back in my direction instead of actually doing what I should be doing. I don't want to see price go back here. If this holds and this is efficient price action, we've done everything we needed to do here. If we rebalance and we take this internal low, we should continue to hold these order blocks here, these highs, and we don't. If we come back down here, I should get stopped at break even. So that's the one thing, is this should have been a break even trade. Shouldn't have been a loss on this. I lost on this $200. Decent risk. honestly not bad with the loss. I want to be risking around $200 to $300 when we lose on this, and then our wins want to be around $500 to $600, if not more. But those are the kind of the main things that I want to be focused on, and this is one of those trades where, honestly, not too upset about it. Really good setup. This is another day in the office, taking the loss. What can we learn from this? Could have kept my stop at break even because there's really no reason I wanted to see price go back. And another thing too is if I am looking to take an internal model like this, align it with the bigger time frame, right? There is no bigger time frame buy side level. We had already taken the external buy side level, and it went against my bias for the existing day going into the morning. Now the second trade I took, not happy with at all. This was way too zoomed in. Haven't seen what I needed to see for me to be able to take this. We had this 5-minute fair value gap here that opened up. This is when I looked, I was like, oh, displacement to the downside. We pulled back. Now, the reason this gets ran through is because the bigger time frame never displaced. If we zoom out here and we look at the buy side level, and for all of this generate sell side, right, I'm taking the short because I want to see all this get taken. We never had displacement. Zoom out, zoom out. This move down is simply continuing to hold this 5-minute imbalance in this order block. Only here do we actually get a change in the state of delivery, and then price continues lower. Only after that, right? So I was way too zoomed in. The bigger time frame did not validate it. The bias ended up playing out, but because I took the 2 losses early, I couldn't take advantage of it, and that was the problem for the day, right? Way too zoomed in. Ended up taking the dumb loss on that second one just because I was so focused on the bearish bias, and I didn't want to wait for what I needed to see. And sometimes we get just so over-focused on what that bias is, right? And one thing to focus on as well is, since I am trading this account and posting these videos, that's also a thing that's in the back of my head that I have to control as well, right? When I'm trying to perform, right, instead of just trading what I see, is always going to cause me to take worse trades, over leverage, FOMO, all the negative things that come with the intention or expectations that I set for myself. So that's something that I learned from today as well. So biggest lessons from today in these 2 trades that I took is, let's talk about the rights. Number 1, rights, risk was pretty good. Not that bad. $200 loss on the first one, around $100 loss on the second one, around a $350 loss on the day. Now that's the biggest loss that we've taken on this challenge so far, which I'm not happy about. The second trade shouldn't have been taken. That's the wrong. The second trade should not have been taken because we didn't see what we needed to see. There was no change in the state of delivery on the 5-minute. And even if there was a change in the state on the 5-minute, there wasn't on a bigger time frame. And the reason that matters is because the change in the state is only to rebalance price on the lower time frame. This move here simply rebalances price to go back higher, and then only here do we actually get displacement on the bigger time frame, right? But when you're too zoomed in, you can't see that. So lessons, what am I getting out of today going into next week, right? What am I using? This is the time when we can actually sit down, look at our decisions, and what are we learning from this? Because if we don't take the time to actually do this, we're just simply fucking wasting time. What do I learn going into today that I can now use, or into Wednesday? Sorry, it's Saturday. I'm going back on this. But what can I learn from this day going into next week? For me, the main things I want to focus on is there's just no reason for me to be on the 15-second so early into the open, right? Especially if the bigger time frame bias hasn't given me what I need to be doing. So my goal, stay off the lower time frames in the morning until there's an actual clear draw on liquidity of what we want to do, and it is aligned with the external time frame. That's important, and aligned with the external time frame. Another thing that I'm learning or using going into next week is just be more patient, right? Be more patient. Wait for the bigger time frame structure to show what we need to be doing, and then look for whatever that is. Stick with my bias, be able to recognize if the bias is invalidated or not. The trade that I took today, again, the wrongs I did is, even though the long looked good, it still went against my bias for the day, right? And that's something we want to focus on as well. So overall, not super happy with the day, not super upset with it. A little bit mistakes here and there, learning lesson, kept the losses to a minimum, stepped away when I needed to, and just recognize it. Again, another day in the office, right? You come into the day, you trade, you make a mistake, you either win, whatever. Don't judge your red and green days based off of the money. Judge your red and green days based off of, did you do what you were supposed to do? Today, I did not do what I was supposed to do. So it is a fair red day. If you go into the market and you have a red day and you did exactly what you should be doing, you should think of it mentally as a green day. Because when we focus and we shift ourselves, instead of being profit focused, and we focus more on being process focused, and we learn to build satisfaction from the process, is when we can actually see results in our trading. So red on the day, red on the habits. We learn from it, and we go into it, and we start fresh next week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and this little recap. I will be posting the Thursday trade right after this. Probably when this drops, you'll be able to watch that in the next 24 hours, I would guess. And let's focus on next week. Let's keep it going. Let's start fresh, right? Because it's kind of been all over the place. 4 green days in a row, 3 red days in a row, right? It's been kind of way back and forth. So that's kind of got to shifting me back and forth, that I got to dial back in and just simply be an observer and get back to work. So enjoy your day, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Focus on building good habits. Don't focus on making money. You will make money by focusing on building good habits. Enjoy your day. I will see you all later. Peace.
No.